over is I'm going to start a series on coaching youth soccer. So this you can consider for, say, the U8 age group. So it's all about how can we develop the soccer brain of young kids. And I'm going to take you through some very basic methods, constraint-based training for young kids to develop decision making, to create a little organization in the game without you having to really say a word. So what's the number one problem that we as coaches always have when we're coaching young kids? And this can go all the way up to whatever, U12. Everyone says the kids are bunching up, right? That's the biggest problem. The kids are bunching up. So here's a photo here, a diagram. Everybody's bunched up around the ball. So how do we correct this? Do we correct this by verbally saying stuff? Spread out, spread out. It's really not going to work. I'm sure you've heard that a million times. So the first solution that I'm going to give you, and this is just a 4v4 example, and this is the easiest solution. Notice I put one cone in the middle of the field, and there's a line that goes down the middle of the field. You don't have to have the line, but at least put the cone. The only rule in this game is you have to have, when you have the ball, at least one player on both sides, on this side of the cone and this side of the cone. So basically, you are creating width in attack with that simple constraint, that simple rule. Now, if they get that, the next one that you could do is divide it into 3 lanes. So you use 2 cones, 1, 2, and 3 lanes. In order to score on this goal, blue has to have a player in all 3 lanes. Now, you could eventually use this same thing. So the defending team, if the ball is out wide, all their players need to be in the lane with the ball, and the middle lane. Defensive compactness. That's not really what I'm talking about today, but this is how you can kind of organize the field, organize the constraints in a simple way to bring about the behavior that you're looking for. And notice I didn't say anything about dribbling and touches and not being able to be creative. I'm not restricting the players that much at all. It's just make sure that we're in all 3 lanes. I find this one a little bit more difficult for the kids. I would start off with this after they get it, and it might take them a week to get it, 2 sessions, whatever, progress into this. Next, the next one is now you have the middle cone, so players on both sides. However, and I'm just doing this for the blue team. Blue team has the ball. The entire team to score has to be over these 2 cones, this line here. So not only players on this side of the cone, this cone here, this side, and this side, but the whole team has to be above this line. So now you're moving down the field as a team, and you have width. Once the players understand that simple constraint, you as a coach really don't have to say anything. We'll build on that just a little bit farther now. It's hard to see. I should have put another cone right here. There's a line that goes right here. So now we're going to go with the same thing. Players on both sides to score above this line here, above those 2 cones, but we've added, see how we added a section here? This line goes straight down. Here's the other constraint now. You can't have all 4 players in this last zone. You have to have at least one player back here. Why? Simple. If you have all 4 players here, there's no way, there's no support and attack to switch the field because everybody be crowded in this one area. So players here have to have at least one player here, and now 1 player minimum in support. And we could keep going on with this, with other rules. At some point, if you wanted to, you could say the defense here is only allowed to send 1 player over this line to pressure, but the blue could send 2 back. So now, if he steps, they send the ball here, then tuck back in, this player will come out and pressure. That's getting a little bit more for kind of keeping it simple right now, but you'll be surprised when the players start to get all these variations, at the U6, at 6 years old, U8, they really start to understand it and they do very well. And this is a constraints-led approach about developing the soccer brain. This fits into my entire methodology. I would say this though, strip all this away. After you've played this for X amount of time, the kids have to be able to play the game without the constraints and let them do it their way, and with complete freedom. I wouldn't give them complete freedom the entire time. That's why I use the constraints-led approach here. But at some point in the training, you got to give them complete freedom because they'll find that the kids find this fun, but not as much fun as complete freedom. So you want to give them both. That's this right now is the first video. I'm making a kids section on the YouTube page about developing the soccer brain for kids. So I'm going to have all sorts of great content out, simple to use stuff that coaches can use from U6 to U12. I'll have game model positional rondo stuff out. Even for an 8v, even for a U8 team, I'll have positional rondo stuff for you. So I hope you enjoyed it, and keep checking out this section because I'm going to add more content.